one day. You'll go blind.
I'm coming! How many times is too many to masturbate in one day? Hashtag Ask-A-Maze! There's no limit on the number of times a person can masturbate each day. It's normal to have lots of sexual feelings and desires when going through puberty. And while some people want to do it all day long, others may not want to. Do it as much as you want. But if it's interfering with your schoolwork or keeping you from friends and family, then maybe it's time to slow down.
Ah! What are you doing?
Hey, give me some privacy.
Not here.
Only masturbate where you're sure to have some privacy.
Okay, this video gets canceled for just using the word privacy. Okay, you already get that pronunciation. Privacy, you're done. You're canceled in my book. You're not allowed to use that phrase. Lisa, what are your thoughts?
Okay, so I just wanted to make everybody clear on this. Amaze partners with schools all over. That's like that YouTube channel. And they specifically sex education videos for kids, for curriculum. New Jersey Teachers Union has suggested that the New Jersey teachers use this curriculum, use this in their sex ed curriculum. And this is for 9-year-olds, 9-year-olds. My daughter doesn't even, is 9. She doesn't even know what a period is. Like, she doesn't have any friends that talk about sex. They don't know what bad words are, right? Like, they are feeding this to the children. Kids don't want to touch themselves at 9 years old. I'm sorry. Like, I don't know any kids that do. This is bizarre. This is brainwashing them. This is sexualizing them. And it's happening, and it's targeted at schools, and the people that run this organization are disgusting anyway. There's worse ones than that video on that whole YouTube channel. And it's made, and they have world partners, and it's made for school curriculum. That is in your public schools.
Dude, what happened to like just classic sex ed where you're teaching kids how to not get people pregnant and stuff like that? Can you guys hear me?
We can hear you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't
know
why we ever talk about that anyway.
Why do kids need to be taught about masturbation? Like, what is that? Why are people doing that? Okay. This isn't the kind of thing where you there's no safety concerns like sex ed for kids when it comes to not getting a girl pregnant or learning about STDs or learning about how abortions are performed. That's fantastic. Kids should be taught that. Why do kids need to be taught about masturbation, bro? Like it makes me literally nauseous watching this video because I'm like, dude, they're robbing these kids of their innocence, man. And it's like, it's just satanic and disgusting and nauseating. And I freaking hate it, bro. And I want it to stop. And I don't know how.
To me, you have to be a pedophile. You have to be a pedophile in order to make that for children. If you're an adult making a masturbation cartoon for children, to me, you're a pedophile, or you have some sick tendencies. There's no normal, rational person that is making masturbation cartoons for 9-year-olds that's normal, healthy, or not a pedophile. I'm sorry.
Well, yeah, I mean, and you bring this up too, and I bring up these ideas that this is not, we're not talking about the fringes of the internet, right? I mean, like, you know, it is, I feel like the right wing does do a lot of a grift. Like, you know, people will go, and I'm not including Taylor Hanson in this because the work that he's doing is amazing, but, you know, people will like go do things not because they care about the work, but because it generates clicks. And so people will be like, I went to a drag show and there was kids and they were sexualizing in front of children. And you go, okay, that is horrible. Okay. And Taylor's doing good work, but we don't need everyone doing that, because the reality is that the amount of children that are being brought to these things by their parents, by the way, this is a parental issue. The parents should be put in jail, is very, very minimal compared to the amount of children who have access to Google, who can search things up. And Quora is not an adult website. It's not going to be restricted to the people who have access to things like Teen Vogue, that are real battles. And when Teen Vogue puts up, I've never felt more uncomfortable looking at a picture of a papaya in my life, but it's like how to masturbate if you have a vagina, finger and toy tips, which also conveniently, if you have a vagina was the other one. And then Teen Vogue also had out I know we've talked about this before, but they've also, had this one, which was how to masturbate if you have a penis, 12 tips and techniques. Now these, from my understanding, if I can click here, we don't want to sign up for your satanic newsletter. These look like they're by the same person, and you click on the individual and we look at what's going on here. This is Gigi Engel, and Gigi Engel has a slew of articles called What Does Horny Mean? 7 Signs You're Horny. How to French Kiss. I guess they don't, I don't know what they're paid to do. They haven't written an article since January 6th, and I don't know what they do in their free time. Anal sex, what you need to know, what consent and BDSM actually looks like. Like, I'm sorry, but like, we're talking about teenagers. Most adults I know are not into like fetishes, or at least they don't say, and that's what part of being an adult is. We don't walk around and being like, hey, do you want to know 10 tips on how you can handcuff me to a bed? That's another conversation for another time. But when you're like going into a children's website and you're introducing this stuff to them, how to talk to your partner about rape. This is extreme stuff. 6 myths about queer sex, how to talk to your sibling about their sexual identity. I mean, this is more of what an adult would want to talk about if they have an inert idea about children. And this is mainstream. And that's why we bring attention to it, is the mainstream application and the fact, like Aldo, I'm going to bring this up, like Aldo showed here, is that the stuff that's on YouTube is geared, towards ages 5 to 8. It's geared, you can choose your age. And the stuff that it's geared to, that literally it talks about, are things like gender non-conforming person, which in itself is a political and a sexual statement. Gender non-conforming means you have a mental illness and you were probably sexually abused by your father or he was absent. But I don't want you telling my kid that. And the fact that we have made a distinction that the only difference between children's content and adult content is putting your actual dick in the shot, which Cora apparently still doesn't differentiate. I don't want my kid with a rainbow chocolate dick pop. I don't want to hear about your dick pop. I don't want to even talk about why you like dick pops, or even ask 7 reasons why dick pops taste better in the summer than in the winter. The truth is that this kind of conversation doesn't need to happen, because sex is not something that adults need to get involved with children. And don't misquote me on this, we are not having arguments. This is not an argument, okay? This is not an argument about the different sex laws between states and whether or not 16 is too young, or Leonardo DiCaprio dating 19-year-olds are creeps, or whatever these weird arguments people have on the age of consent. These are 12-year-olds, these are 11-year-olds, these are 10-year-olds, and it goes down the line. This is not a confusion of when the age of consent is or what sexual maturity is. It's a whole different conversation. I'm not making the case for any side of the argument here. Do not quote me on that. I'm saying this is about accessing children before they've hit puberty, before they have a chance to understand their sexuality, and in ways that are secretive and separate from their parents, to try to program them, and not just program them, which is why grooming doesn't do us service here. It's not just grooming, it's actively getting into these chat rooms, these DMs, and exposing them and preying on them in the moment for sexual interaction. And it's not the number one target of social media companies. And in fact, it's sanctioned by YouTube Kids. I rest my case. These people should all die by the state.
You should see the ads. You should see the ads that come up on them. The ads that come up too. They're targeting kids. You have these games that like kids play on their phone. Like I see kids like playing on their phone, like these like stupid little ball games that come up. And then there's sexual ads that pop up. Now, Google Ads is the one that's responsible for putting the ads on YouTube and everywhere else. And they seem to not care about any and like who sees what type of ad and how sexual it is. Like they want to sexualize these kids, and I think they're saying that they're doing it like, in the name of like teaching kids to be safe and all that stuff. But if you look at the timelines for when they started sexualizing kids, and then kids' happiness and kids' suicide rates and stuff, they're all going up together, right? It's not like you're introducing kids to these sexual concepts and like the suicide rate and the mental health rate is going down. No, it's going up at the same trajectory, because kids should be sexual. Kids emotional makeup gets messed up when you expose them to sex or engage with sexual acts with them at a young age. Or sexually like making their brains mush and turning them into deviants ahead of time. Like we're making a little legion of like mentally ill, so like sexually deviant, like a little army. It's disgusting, and I won't let my kids be a part of it, but it's gross.
Dude, Elijah,
I'm sorry,
I
I'm
gotta be
blackballing
honest,
everybody.
bro. No, I gotta be honest, man. This is I sincerely feel like we should bring back the death penalty and apply it very strenuously to pedophiles. Like this problem is actively being enabled and pushed by big tech. The fact that you've got these Google ads, the fact that you've got all these recommended subjects on Quora whenever kids are posting, like they're actively pushing this stuff into the culture. I see two solutions here. I see bringing the word of God back into the culture, right? We need to make America a proper Christian country again. That's one thing. That's one aspect of the solution. I see the other aspect of the solution here being bringing back the death penalty for pedophiles and ideally public executions, man. Like what better to strike the fear of God into a predator's heart than public executions? Like, is that not reasonable? Do you guys think that's reasonable?
Absolutely.
It's reasonable. Here's the one more thing I want to say. We're not even at the tip of the iceberg yet either. You're forgetting Discord. You're forgetting Reddit. You're forgetting Twitch. And people say to me, like, Lisa, you're crazy all the time. Like, it's not like that out there. It's few and far between, and you have like an availability heuristic. And I'm like, no. If you actually take the time to look, it's out there everywhere. So if we can just get everybody showing these moms and showing parents and showing your neighbors that it really is out there, we have some chance of fighting back. But because YouTube censors it and because everybody else censors it and people are too, I don't know, want to be too nice or whatever their problem is, we have no hope of this. We have no hope of even bringing any of that back unless people actually know that this is going on, and nobody does. Nobody knows how bad it is. They think it's like, you know, a very small minority. This was ridiculous.
Make sure that you know that inflation is hitting us in every single corner, and we cannot prevent the massive collapse of our financial markets, losing billions of dollars. I think we lost over $1 trillion recently, even in stock market exchange. It's insane. But thank God many of us have actually withstood the test of time by investing in gold and silver. And my friends at Goldco have a special deal right now for slightly offensive backers, SOBs. You've got to check it out. If you call 855-242-4758, that's 855-242-4758, my friends at Goldco will hook you up and tell you how to get up to $10,000 of free silver. Invest your retirement, invest your savings, give the best of what you have to yourself and to your life, to your wife, to your family by investing in something that is actually tangible and can't just be deleted. Remember, China's buying gold and silver at rates we've never seen. And so what do they know that we don't? Well, don't be left in the dust. Call 855-242-4758 or click the link in the description and figure out how to invest in gold and silver today with my friends at Goldco. You're not going to regret it. And anyways, just fill out the form if you haven't already, because they love a good lead and they love to talk to you and help you know and plan for your future.